Good evening, everyone. Today, our guest presenter is Temidayo, and he'll be taking us on exploratory data analysis in PowerBI using Python scripts. So, Temidayo is a data analyst and a business intelligence analyst, and also a data scientist with over 2 years experience. He has been involved in voluntary activities with Data Science Nigeria. He also a Data Science Nigeria team lead, and he has also won some data science and artificial intelligence awards. Temidayo is also skilled in Excel, Python, Power BI, Matlab, and he's also a graduate of the Federal University of Technology. So, Temidayo, you could start.
Okay, good everyone. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. So our today's topic is exploratory data analysis using Python script in Power BI. Good moment. Okay. So the content of today is what is EDA. That's EDA is the short form of exploratory data analysis. The steps in EDA, prerequisites and package needed for your personal computer, introduction to Python, drawbacks and conclusions. So we start by the definition of EDA. That's exploratory data analysis. In terms, exploratory data analysis also means data exploration. This is better known as the process of data analysis, thereby getting specific insights or useful insights about your data. Usually the company makes use of data decision gotten from the information gotten from EDA processes. It's also one of the best practices in making precise and informative decisions. Some steps in EDA process. Steps in EDA processes are: the number one step is data sourcing, data cleaning, univariate analysis, bivariate analysis. So let's start by data sourcing. We all know the first step in data analysis is data gathering. So that's basically data sourcing. So data sourcing is the process of gathering data into a system from a database management system. There are basically two types of data sourcing. We have the private data and the public data. Usually private data that are more secured. They're usually data used by big organizations, big firms. Like this kind of data, more of like financial statement data, client data, employee bio data. Those are more of like the private kind of data. You can't get this kind of data out on the internet or any other source. I also have the public data. These are data that are readily available on the internet. You can just go to Google and search data for animals, data for this. So these are basically data. Those kind of data are usually called public data. And some link you can get those data on data government, cargo.com. You can also get from UCI, that's University of California.com. So they also have data too for the company. You can also get data too from GitHub itself. So the next step for EDA is called data cleaning. This is the process of detecting and correcting or removing corrupt and inaccurate record from a record set or database. Basically, this has to do with removing data that are not meant to be in your data set. Some examples are like missing values, incorrect formats. This is basically when you have a format that's meant to be in a text format and you're seeing it in time or you're seeing it in number. This one is more of done in the Power Query side. We do it a lot in Excel in Power Query side. So it can also be done on Python too. Incorrect headers. Incorrect header basically means your title header. When you're meant to have things like phone number, you're having date of birth. That means you're interchanging the headers usually. And outliers. Outliers are basically data that are found in places that they don't belong. That's just the simple definition of outliers or animosity. Quite animosity of outliers. Anyway, I prefer calling it. So univariate analysis. This one has to do with more of like if you analyze data over a single variable or column from a data set, is mostly known as univariate analysis. Let us give an instance now. If you're analyzing data in just only a single column, usually called univariate analysis. So we also have another one called the bivariate analysis. Sorry. This basically has to do with analyzing data in two variables or columns. These are when you have two or more columns. That's when you have some things like called bivariate analysis. This is basically a simple definition of it. We don't really want to go too deep into it today. So the next step is called our Python script for Power BI. Python basically is the world most used language right now. Very, very popular language. I I think I actually, okay, I didn't start with Python. I started with other language. I started with C, but I went to Python. But I actually fell in love with Python more. So Python is one of the most popular language. So Python is an object, is just meaning an object-oriented language, an high-level language, high-level programming language. So you can always download the Python IDE from the official website, which is over here. Just search python.com. Just can search on Google, download Python. That's all. Python IDE. We also have the Anaconda Navigator. The Anaconda Navigator is a desktop GUI that comes with Anaconda individual edition. It makes the launching of application, the management of software and environment and library so easy by command line. So the idea behind Anaconda is just that it's actually like an environment where other IDs are usually found inside, and it makes your work so easy. For a data analyst, most data scientists, they use a lot of Anaconda, maybe things like PyCharm, Spider, or Jupyter. For me, I'm more of a big fan of using Jupyter. I use more of Jupyter than any other IDE. For some people, they prefer using Spider and other ID and PyCharm and the rest, or IPy or the rest. But me, I prefer using Jupyter. So the advantage of using Anaconda is that most of the libraries are usually pre-installed. Libraries like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, some more libraries like Seaborn and the rest are usually pre-installed in the Anaconda environment. But things like, if you're using the normal Python IDE, you have to pip install all those libraries, either from your command line or other platforms available. So we'll go to the prerequisite for Python in Power BI. To make sure the following action runs successful on Python script, the following libraries are important. So firstly, to run Python script successfully on your Power BI, you need to install Python on your local computer machine. That's, you have to go online and download either your Anaconda environment or your Python IDE, or any other IDE though, but most preferable Python IDE or Anaconda. Step 2. The Power BI platform integration requires the installation of 2 or more packages. So the two main important libraries to install if you want to work on Python for Power BI is Pandas and Matplotlib. So Pandas basically is just for reading data, more for data frame structure. Just if you want to do data structuring, you use a lot of Pandas. Use a lot of Pandas library, because Pandas is actually a library in Python for data structure and data manipulation. The next one is Matplotlib. So Matplotlib is actually a visualization tool in Python. It's one of the most popular visualization. There are other visualization tools like Seaborn and PyVisual and other ones, but the most common one that has been used over the years now has been Matplotlib, due to it being so balanced and other features. It's actually a very balanced tool. I also put a bonus there is Seaborn. You can also use Seaborn. So another library that is very, very, very important is called OpenPyXL. So for you to work on Excel file in Power BI using the Python script, you need to install OpenPyXL on your library. It's actually a library that helps you communicate more with Excel software. That's Excel application. That's mostly application that's stored with .xlsx. Yeah, XLLX. The pronunciation is kind of a little bit tricky. But this library, this OpenPyXL helps you interact easily with Excel files. So let's go next. So I'll talk about the drawbacks. So the Python itself, the Python script for Power BI has a lot of drawbacks. I won't lie to you. You can't still compare it with the normal Anaconda environment, things like Jupyter, PyCharm, or Spider. You can't compare it. I will still prefer. I'll always do an EDA process on Anaconda libraries, on others Anaconda's IDE, than doing a EDA process on Power BI. I'll be honest with you guys, but I just want to show you that the same thing that can be done on Jupyter, on Spider, on any other IPy, any other IDE you use can also be done on Power BI script. But some of the drawbacks are data size limitation is 150,000 rows. Anything above 150,000 rows, it can't take it. I know the maximum capacity of Excel rows is over 1 million, right? For Python in Power BI is just 150,000. The maximum size of the data should not be more than 250 MB. That's another one. Also, it has a very, very poor resolution. That's one thing that that will mostly make you not to want to use Python in Power BI because of the visualization. I think Microsoft are still updating it though, but for now the visualization is very poor. Very poor. That's very poor. And plot limitation also. Yeah, plot limitation is like it can't really a dashboard, like let me say like a worksheet in your Power BI, where you're using Python for Python script for Power BI. It has limitation of amount of plots you can use. That's one. And let me just give a bonus. And the overall another overall drawback in it still requires more investment and more research. That's one thing I'll also say about it. So the conclusion is nice for presentation and fast analysis. That's also, if you want to do a fast analysis, they don't want to start going through your Power Query, doing some data cleaning on Power Query. I can just write, if I'm very good with, for those Python guys that are very good with Python, that are trying to like switch to Power BI, I think using Python script will help you really have a very comfortable ground. So these are the resources I use and everything. So let's just dive in now to the work proper itself. This is just more of the explanation side, more of the theoretical. So let's go more now into practical now, because we came here for practical, right? So I'll open, first thing first, I'll open my Power BI. Okay, let me just close this one. Let me open my Power BI. 1 second, let me open a new Power BI. So I'm open Power BI. It's loading. Okay, so it has loaded, right? So the first step now is you come to, before you can work on, where's my browser? Move my browser. Before you can work on Python, hello? Someone said something. So before you can work on Python.
Yeah. I was driving at the time, so.
Should I continue?
Yes, but the reason
okay
that was because you were asking me if it was the top 50 that gave us 87 million.
So are you talking to me? I didn't get up. Hello? So let me just continue. Benny.
I'm talking to you. I think I was talking
To someone else. Okay. Okay, so for you to work with what's the name? For you to work with Python script on Power BI, the first thing you have to download either the Anaconda library or the Python ID. So this is the website for the Anaconda library. So you just go to that. You can just search on Google, download Anaconda. That's all. You come to this site. I've put the link on the PowerPoint distance slides. I will share it to everyone to use. So just come and click on download Anaconda ID. I actually have it on my system, so I won't download it. Also, you can also come to Python IDE. Also, you can also download Python IDE. So the latest Python right now is Python 3.9. That's cool. I think the one I'm using for my Anaconda is 3.8. So that's nice. So the latest Python, so you just come here and download Python IDE. That's all you have to do. So I told you now the first step you need to do now is, if the packages you need for you to work with Python on Power BI, you need to download 2 packages, which are the pandas, which you use for data manipulation, and you also need to download Matplotlib, which are used for visualization. So one of the ways of doing it, you just come to your Windows, search for CMD. So I have my CMD here. This is my CMD. This is my normal one. So I'll open 2 CMD for you, so you guys will see. Actually, I have 2 Python on my system. I have the Python ID. I also have the Anaconda. So let me just open the other one, the Anaconda. So you can see this first one, and this is a base. This is the Anaconda base. So if I type Python, automatically it opens Python for me. But this one here is for Anaconda. This Anaconda CMD. That's command line. So let me just go. I'm opening it from the normal. This is my normal system CMD. This is my normal system CMD. You can see CMD user Temidayo blah blah blah. So now if you want to install the pandas, now just type pip install pandas. That's all. So you have to be connected to the internet. You can see now, mine is, you can see requirement already satisfied. I actually have pandas on my system. So I'll do the same thing again for pip install matplots lib. You can see requirement already satisfied. So if you want to install any library, I don't know how to install it. You can always go online. You can always go into say, okay, google.com, say Loading. Okay, if that is low, let's just continue. So you can always go online to google.com and search, okay, how can I pip install any library? Things like TensorFlow and the rest. Like you can see here, this one now. Let me just exit this. Let me show you something. This now, you can say, if I want to activate the package, I can say activate TensorFlow. Actually, TensorFlow is usually done in a virtual environment in your Anaconda. So pip 3.8, because I use 3.8 because that's the Python I'm actually using. So this activates my TensorFlow forms. I can run TensorFlow codes from this side. I can start running TensorFlow code, but I'm not going to. I'm not showing some other cool features of using from CMD itself. So if I want to install, I'll say pip install. Let me say OpenCV here. OpenCV is actually Open Computer Vision. We use it a lot for guys that are into computer vision and the rest. So come here, you can always do your pip install from here. See, okay, how can you install? You can see. If you want to install a library, you don't have to install, just come see, you can see it shows pip install OpenCV-Python. Just copy this, copy to your CMD, and you press enter, that's all. So since I have the two most required library packages now, so I just come to my Anaconda now. I'll come to my PowerBI now. Close my PowerBI. So the first step now, you have to go to your file. I go to my file, I go to my options and settings, I go to my options here. It's going to take a little bit of time to open it. So I go to my Python script. So this is the most important part here now. You can see now, this shows where it's detecting the Python from now. Detected Python from home directory now. So if I click here, you can see I have two different kinds of Python. I have the one for Anaconda, I also have the one for command. I have one for command, for Python ID, sorry. I have one for Anaconda, I also have one for Python ID. But I'm using one for Python ID because the one for Python ID is actually easier to use. But the one for Anaconda is better to use because of the one for Anaconda is actually, it has all the pre-installed softwares, all the pre-installed libraries already installed already. So you don't need to start doing pip install, pandas, pip install, numpy, pip install, numpy or lib, all those other OpenCV. It's just straightforward. But why I'm using Python IDs, because most times if I'm using a Jupyter, I need to create another virtual environment, which I have to now pip install some packages that need to help me synchronize with my Power BI, which is because Power BI, when they made it for Python, they only made it for the ID. So I think some guys now are not trying to tweak it to let it work with Jupyter. So that's just all. So this one is just the test form. This is what I'm detecting. So if in case you're using things like you're using Visual Studio now to write your Python code, you don't use your normal ID. This is where you change it from. You can just come here. You click on others. You go to your directory for your for your Visual Studio. So you can see this side here, show me the directory here on my Python. So let me open my directory. Let me show you where it's getting the information from. Let me just open one of my folders. Let's open a folder. Okay, let me open the folder from here. I come to my C drive. You got it from user, right? User, Temidayo. I see this Anaconda. Okay, the app is actually invisible. Okay, I made it visible. So most times it's always in the hidden. It's always hidden. Most times you see the Anaconda. So the Python, if you want to get access to the Python, you have to click on the hidden item. You see the app data here. You then go to local. You see Python somewhere. Let me check from here first. After, okay, local program. Okay, so local. After local, I go to program, then you get your Python. So this is where this is where the Power BI is getting the Python library from itself. So that's just all for that. So after that, you can now work with Python. So let's just play around with some Python codes now. So if you want to start, let's start now. So if you want to start with Python, let's just build a data frame from scratch now. Let's say get data. All right, is it loading? So okay, what I'm going to do today now, I'm going to show you everything I'm going to be doing today. I've actually been done on my Jupyter notebook. So I'll show you my Jupyter. So you see that what I'm so. On a normal scenario, if you are doing a normal EDA, it takes EDA. You can't finish EDA within 1 hour. I'll be honest with you guys. EDA, especially data analysis, takes like these are actually some ones I've done before in the past. You see, you have to get things like the data shape, the data information. That tells when it is an integer, is an object, or the rest. You have to get the described data. This is where it gives you more information about the data, like the count, the mean, standard deviation, the medium, the maximum, 25%, and the rest. You have to know about the number of missing data. That's when you have is known value. You have to do seaborn to get your is known value. Also, you do some feature engineering. You just basically get some different data. You have to do so many things. You have to do so many visualization. So this one in practice, I get outliers and the rest. That's has to do with the distribution, data distribution, and the rest. You have to do so many things. These are visualization. This is how a standard EDA looks like, though. This is how a standard EDA looks like. You have to do so many things, so many things, so many things. You have to do correlation also to know which data actually correlate with each other. You know the ones that you know when the data you should drop, the one you should keep from correlation itself, data correlation. You have to do like some that's some peer pod. You have to know like this has to do with the data frequency distribution and the rest. You have to do so many things. So, but I'm trying to do all this now just in a small package within an hour now. So these are basically all the things I'll be doing today. So everything I'll be doing, I've actually done it on Jupyter already. So I'm going to do the same thing on Power BI. So let's start together now. So for me, I go to this is my Power BI, right? I go to get data. Click on my get data. So it's loading. So I go to orders. So I go to Python script. I go to connect. So I'm trying to create I'm trying to create a simple data set. And let's say I don't know to data manipulation is usually done with pandas, right? So I say I'll have to import. I say import. I was going to do some simple ones first. Pandas as PD. Let's create a data frame and say data. Okay. I'm just creating random data now. I'm going to put age. That's age. Level. Just bear with me. Just bear with me, please, guys. Bear with me. Benny. Create. Okay. I'm saying they have equals to PD dot data frame. Try to build like a dummy data here. So let's pray. The column should be name. Here should be name. Yeah, this should be name. And this should be age. That's all. So let's see. Let's page one. So let's click. I'm going to load. It's connecting to the Python. Okay. I can see the error. I didn't finish it here. Okay. So let's see. Python scripts. Oh, why is it? Wait. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Import pandas. PD. 25. Yes. Okay. And click on OK. If it doesn't work, I'll know it's from the script itself. Just 1 minute. So let me go to options. Let me check something first. I want to confirm something. Python script. That should work. It should work. Okay, let me try it again. Actually, I did this before I started this class. I don't know why I'm having error now. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's come to others. Let me click on Python. Let me just save let me just copy the code from here. So if it doesn't work, I know that the fault is coming from somewhere else. So dates should be dates. Pip install. Need pandas, right? Pandas. This should be data. So data and the. I think you should work. Okay, here. I think I made a mistake in one of the syntax. That's where the issue came from. So, I'm trying to show you how to just basically create a data form. This is basically create a data in Python. So you can see the name. Let us close and let us load it. Let us load it directly. Let's don't waste time. So I think I made a mistake in one of the commas or something. It's loading. Okay. It'll take some few minutes to load. And load. Okay, so it has loaded already. So this is a simple data frame, right? It's simple data frame. So let's create something more complex a little bit. So let's get data again. This time around, we'll do a visualization also. Let's get data. Let's go to orders again. Let's go to click on Python script, connect. Better, let's copy the code from here directly. I don't want to waste time. So just click copy here, paste. Let me connect. Python script. Okay. I didn't define pandas, so I say import pandas as PD. So it needed it for the data manipulation. So I click on OK again. You can see things actually taking time. So it's going to load again. But it's going to do some very cool features also, but let's just try and move fast. We're trying to move fast. So this is just the first one. Let's see, finish transforming. So you can transform your data also from here. But we're not transforming any data today. So basically, this is just how the data frame works. So let me just close and apply. It's going to be loading again. So let me try and import a CSV file this time around, because I've been importing. I'll be building data frame from scratch. Let me try and import a CSV file. Let me show you how this works now. Are you ready? So let's go now. So let's say get data. So it's taking time. What takes time? Let me just copy it from here. Okay, let me just create a visualization. That was preferable. Let me create a visualization first. For this one I just did now, create a visualization for it. Let me click on Python here. For you to create a visual, you have to enable the Python script visualizer. You click on enable here. This is out now. So this one I just did now, to like select everything one by one. So I say age, this. Come here. By default, your data is stored in Power Query as data set. So you have to change this to data set here. Data set. By default, though, is just stored as data set. So you say you import so what do you do first? You import your matplotlib as PLC. That's actually a visualization to Python. You now say data.plot open bracket, and the kind of chart you want to do now is a scatter chart. X is the age, weight is that's the y axis. The color one is red color. So you now do plt.show. For you, if you don't do plt.show, your data will not show. So you now click on your run. Yeah, so it's going to load here. You can see one of the drawbacks I thought about. The resolution is so poor. This one is very, very poor. Like, let me change this. Let me show you. Let me change this one here to line. So that's what I'm talking about. This is a line chart. If I click on run, change this to a line chart now. Just watch. You can see this is a line chart now. I can also change the color over here to let me say blue. By default, it's usually blue though. By default, it's usually blue. So you can see blue. So let us try and do more cool stuff again. This time around, let me try and import a CSV file. Let me try and import a CSV file in. So it's going to load. Okay. Orders and Python script. Okay. So first one, import pandas as PD. So let me name this one data set equals to read_CSV file open bracket directory. So I have to get the directory of what I want to paste here now. So let me get the directory. I want to paste the CSV file here. So let me just copy the directory link here. Paste it here. One of the files is adult. Let me see. Okay, adult CSV. That's adult. It's called adult.csv. So I'll change the directory to a forward directory. Change everything to forward directory. Forward directory. It's actually very. If it was on what do you call it? If it was on this thing, on what's the name? On Jupyter, it should have just you have to have you can just click get the just click open bracket say this thing adult CSV. You get the directory straight forward. But since it's Python, you have to indicate the directory. Let me remove some missing data, so we won't stress ourselves. I'll say data set dot final open bracket 0, sorry 0 in place is equals to true. So I'm trying to fill all the any missing data. Just put it as 0. I don't really want to go. Most times you usually substitute missing data with the median. It's more advised to use median, but I just want to since this is just an explanatory class, we're not really doing something serious like that. So let's just click. Okay, let's put it runs. Okay, it's running. Thank God. It's run. Okay. So I like the data here. I see the data. So let me just click on transform data now. So let me go to the Power Query editor. So this is Power Query editor itself. So you can see now if I click on this, I get the column profile, I get the column distribution, also get the column quality. So you can see the column distribution. So let me click on workplace. You can see the workplace. You can see there's some question mark. There's some question mark that are not really nice for the data itself. So let's see. So let's do some little bit of data cleaning. You can see some question marks. So let's run Power Query from the Power Query editor now. I click on transform. I click on run Python. Right. So let's try and drop. You can see read this now. I said but data set holds the input data in your script. So I told you that time. I said that by default, any data you put in your Power BI is always stored as data set. So when I named the first, remember when I named this as df.2, I didn't use df.2. I had to change to data set. So by default, it's usually stored as data set. So let's just say data set. I want to drop anything that has to do with. Let me try and replace first. Let me replace. I want to replace the question mark now. I say data set dot replace. I'm trying to replace value question mark, right? So I want to replace all the questions. I want to replace question mark as unknown. So it looks more better though. So I say I replace the unknown. So any place I see question mark just gives me unknown. I put the in place. The in place should be 1. Sorry, true. In place equals to true. Equals to true. And I close my brackets. Okay. Press OK. Please run. Please work. Please work. Please work. Most times, this thing really scares me a lot. I have to pray that it works. Okay. I think it's working fine. It's going to load first. Yeah, so it's worked fine. So let me just click on. I'll click on this table here now. So you see it from here now. See it from here. So it's loading. So now let's see. So you can see now it has replaced. Okay, still loading. Still loading. I don't know why Power BI is slow today. I've been using it a lot lately. Jesus Christ. Hurry up. Okay. So now I can see now the place that it was question mark, it has changed to what? Unknown. So let's do more data cleaning. Let me do another Power Query again. You can see this one here, this particular, I'm trying to check time now. This particular one is not needed. This particular data here. I don't need this data over here. I don't need it. I don't need this. This FN, so I have to drop it. So let me try and drop it. So let me run another Power. I'll run a Python script inside of Power Query again. I say data set dot drop, right? Dot drop open brackets. And what am I dropping this time around? I'll choose the column. The column name is let me check the name. Okay, I don't want to make spelling mistakes, so it is FNL WGT, right? FNL WGT. I close the column, comma 1. I'm dropping only 1. The in place should be true. Okay. Let's press okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it worked perfectly. So let me open it. Let me see if it actually works. So I have to click on the tables. I'll click on the table again. Man, my PowerBI is really running slow today. I don't know why. It's running really slow. Okay, yeah, cool. So you can see now the FWT has been removed. I've actually dropped this. So what I do, I come to home and I load and close and apply. So let me try and create an histogram for the age now. Let's see. It's loading on my data for me now. Oh, Jesus. So I think, okay. So let me run another Python code again. Data set. Let me just highlight all the age. Let me highlight all the data. All the data will come into the value set here. So let me just highlight everything. It's not something you don't necessarily need to highlight everything, but I just want to highlight it for some reasons though. Okay. So I think I actually accumulate everything. So let me create an histogram for age. No, mostly use histogram for frequency distribution. Remember that. So I'm gonna say I'll put a comma. Yes. So ocean. So the first step is let me import. So I have to first import this thing. Matlab. I say import matplots lib.py plo plt. So as plt, not plt. So the next step is what? Plt dot. I'll create an histogram, right? So that's plt dot histogram. Open bracket data set. Your column of data set is for age, right? So age, comma. Let me put the amount of bin. Let me put bin. So I'll put like 30 bin. I think so. I'll put plt dot show. Then let me run it. So you see the frequency distribution for this. Okay. God, it's not even nice at all. You can see it's not nice at all. You can see the resolution. That's one of the disadvantages of running Python script on PowerBI. The resolution is so poor, very poor, so poor. See how poor this is. But if you see, let me show you something. I actually ran it also on what's the name? You can see at least one resolution is actually quite better. But you can see this one here. You can see there's a very big difference between it. Let's have to start removing all the. I'm trying to remove all the data here. Let me remove everything. We must leave only age. Let's see if it get bigger. It didn't say get bigger at all. But so that's this. So I've actually shown you how to. Oh, okay. So this should be age. Let's put age here. Okay. I don't know why you're showing this, but that's how you read data from CSV file. So let me show you how to read data now from Excel file. That's where the real magic comes in now. So I think I'm done with this. Let me just create a new sheet. So we're going to read. Okay, let me rename this Excel. So now I've showed how to read data from CSV file. That's comma separated values. So I want to show how to read data now from Excel file. If you remember when I was doing the presentation, I said that for you to run, let me show you, for you to run Python on PowerBI Excel file, you need to install the OpenCV, OpenPLX in Excel. I've actually installed mine on my system already, so it will run for me. So if you want to do that, you have to first install the Open Python LX. That's Open Python LX for Excel in Power BI. So let's start now. So let's say get data. So for this one, I'm going to be doing three things. I'm going to be getting data from Excel. I'm going to be summarizing the data using pivot table. So I'm going to try to do pivot table. The way we do pivot table in Excel, I'll do pivot table in Python. I'll create a pie chart. I'm also going to create a column chart for this. So let's start now. So let's go to others. So I go to get data from Python script here. Python script. I click on connect. So the first step is import pandas as PD. So I'll name this one as my data. Oh, sorry. Import pandas as PD. My data equals to PD.read underscore. This time around, I won't put set, I'll put Excel, read Excel, open bracket. I'll have to take the directory. So the directory I'm going to be using for this is pivot table. So this is pivot table directory I'm going to be using. So just copy the URL, the directory link. I paste it over here. So I say this should be pivot table. Okay, pivot. I want to get the name correctly. So I say pivot underscore table dot xlsx open bracket. So I have to change all this directory to a forward directory. This also is a forward directory. This should be a forward directory. This should be a forward directory. So I close from here. So then I create a summary data. So I have to summarize it also. I'm create a summarize. Basically, I'm trying to like create a pivot table for this. I click on summary, summarize. So I type summarize. Right equals to PD dot pivot. That's pivot. Pivot underscore table. Open bracket. Comma. Should be indexed here. So I'll index index equals to pizza sold. I'll open the data for you very soon. Pizza sold, comma, and the aggregate functions. Aggregate function should be a sum. I'll use a sum as aggregate. Sometimes I can use count, but I'll use a sum for this. It says sum close bracket dot reset. Is it reset dash index? Or I'm not really sure about this part. It doesn't work. We can always try again though. But let's see. Reset dot index. Let's run.
You said it's underscore.
Should be underscore.
Yeah, that reset.
Okay. Oh, I'm not really. The formula is already getting much. Okay, reset. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please work. Okay, let's hope it works. Okay, so looking at it work. Okay. Okay, yeah, it works. So I need only the summary data because I don't really need all the data. You remember I told you that what is the name? Python for Power BI has a limitation of 250,000 rows, and the data actually is more than that. So that's how to summarize it. So you know what we use pivot tables for is more of summary and analysis. So it gives you the unique value of all the pizzas sold. I'll still compare the values. So let's just click on transform data first. So this transform data. So this transform data. So I'll open the same. You can see what I did here. You can see all the values. I'll open the same value in my Excel. So I'll show you. I want to confirm if they're actually the same thing. So this is my pivot table, right? I just did in Power BI. So I'll open to my Excel. So this is my Excel here, right? This is how big the data is. You stop that. Okay, this is 50,000. So let me just go back up. So what I do, I select all. I go to insert. I go to insert. I click on pivot table. I want to compare if what I actually got is correct. So pizza sold first. What are the? Let me check what came out here. Amount, price, and quantity. Okay. So amount, this amount, price, quantity. So I'll remove the grand total from. I don't need the grand total. Remove sum of price. Oh no. First they remove. Show. Hey, no, let us leave it first. I've waited to remove. Wait. Show. Okay, let us leave it like that. So this is the what do you call it? This is the pivot table in Excel, right? So let's compare the pivot table in Excel with the one we got in Power BI. Let's see if we're correct. So how many unique? It has 16 unique here. Let's see if it's 16 unique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 correct. About while excluding the grand total from it, grand total is not part of it. So 16 unique from barbecue chicken, right? And see from barbecue chicken, it stopped at what? Veggie supreme. It's also stopped at veggie supreme. You can see that actually the same thing. Let's see the last value here for the sum total. Sum of amount sold. Let's see sum of amount sold here. The last one is 30,000 plus. That's 30,000 plus. So that basically is actually correct. So most time what I do when I'm doing analysis, I use Excel, Power BI, and Python. So most time just to validate. This purpose is just to validate what I actually did is correct or not. So let me go back to my Power BI. So let's do some little bit of data cleaning here. I don't need this. I have to drop this. So let me just go to my transform. I'll click on my Python script. Click on my Python script. I remember I told you by default your data is stored as data set. So I say data data set dot drop, right? Drop open brackets. That SME serial number. I don't really need the serial number, so I create a serial number. Close it. 1. And input here. In place should be true, right? In place is true, and I close it. Then data drop serial number in place. Okay, let me run it. Okay, yeah, it worked. So I think we're moving. Let me check time. Okay, let me click here. Let me see if it actually summarized it. Okay, yeah, it has removed it. So let's now do a little bit of visualization now. Let's do it. So let's just close and load. Let's close and load. So I don't need this. Let me just go back to my Power BI. It's my Power BI. It's loading the data again for me. Okay, so let me click on my Python visualization again. Where's my summary data? Let me select everything to enter my value. So I want to create. Let me create a bar chart for this. So let me say summary. Okay, no, it will be data set dot. Okay, no, I have to import. Sorry, I also import the library first. Import plot lib py plot as plt, right? Oh, why is it always giving me that plt? The next step is data. So data set dot plot. What kind of data? I don't say kind equals to. It should be a bar chart. So the bar. So let me make the x-axis should be pizza. Let me make it pizza sold. Yeah, pizza. So let me make it pizza sold. So pizza sold. Comma. The y-axis should be. Let me make it amount. So the y is actually the value. So that's usually output. So let me make it as amount. Amount sold. Yeah. So I make color. Let me put color. Let me make it as red. But no, by default color is always blue, sure. But let's make red. So let me just see. So okay, if it don't run, let me just make it. Let me say plt dot show. So let's run this. It works. Okay, yeah, it worked. But this one actually gave us in ascending order. You can say one thing I said the visualization for Power BI Python script on Power BI is very, very poor. You can see this is actually very, very poor. But it actually works. The idea is also show you that it can actually work. So let's do another one again. Let me create a pie chart. So let me show you that I can actually do something more better and cool. Let's create a pie chart for this now. So let me still do for the same summary. What are the values again? What are the values again? Oh, I've actually stopped sharing. Okay, I'm still sharing. Oh, hello, Michael.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Sorry.
sure.
Sure.
Okay. I was not seeing the red listening. I thought that I've stopped sharing. Sorry. Okay. So on to the pie chart, right? So the next step now, the first thing I say import, right? Imports. I'm trying to keep up with them. Matplot lib matplot lib.py plot as lt. The next step is I have to create a variable now. For I to do for I to create a pie chart, I'm trying to create a. Let me put creating a pie chart. You need to have your variables x and y. So let me now create my x. So my x as it should be. That same summarize. We're just telling me to be data. So it to be data. But if you're writing this on Jupyter, you have to put summarize. But since it's Python, and I told you that for every data you put in Python Power BI, it's actually saved as data set. So data set. Okay, data set. Let me make this thing should be pizza sold. The next one should be the outputs y. The y variable should be also data set. Let me make this amount sold. No, sorry. Amount sold. So let us create a figure. Let me use one as figure. That's fig. Figure is equals to plt dot figure open bracket figure size equals to, let me make it 10,7, right? They call 10,7. Okay, so let me see. Create works. If it doesn't work, we can always check the Power BI code and the Jupyter code. It does work. Plt.py, the output should be y, comma, the labels should be equals to x, right? Comma. So I have to put an auto percentage. So I have to create a percentage for all the pies, is it degrees now? Yeah, degrees. So I call it auto percentage. I think auto percentage equals to comma percentage 0.1 f. I'm not really sure about this part. If it doesn't work, I will always check. 0.1. Okay. Let me see. Let me validate first. Percentage y auto park. Let's try. If it doesn't work, I always check the thing. So let me run it. Okay, let's see what's the error coming from. We created create another visual make results plot. Okay. So if it does, I don't know why it's not working now. Okay. So let me just copy the code from here. So let's just save our time. I don't want to really waste time. I can't start debugging because of time. So I'll just come here. Okay, let me just copy it from here. I don't want to really waste time. This so. Okay, so I didn't push show. I didn't put, this was where the mistake came. If I didn't put pi, I should know something was missing. So okay, this is what I didn't put there. Okay, that's nice. So let me just run it now. This time around, it will work. I didn't put. Oh, why are you not working? Okay, summarize. Remember, I told you summarize. Summarize. This should be data set. Data set. This should also be data set. Data set. So this time around, it has to work. It has to work. It has to work. Yeah, it worked. So let's just make it bigger. So you can see now, you can also do your pie chart on Python. You can do a pie chart on PowerBI using Python script. So I think this is all for today. So any question? So I'm done for now. Any questions? So any question? You guys can start dropping your questions. So Benny.
Are there any questions? There are no questions. That's really from the group chat. I think everybody probably got everything.
Okay. Any question? It's just basically the idea for this is just basically for guys and they're actually used to Python and they're trying to switch into Power BI and they want to like feel comfortable. So you can always do some querying using Python script in your Power BI itself. That's just basically the idea behind this. So any questions so far?
Any questions from the audience?
Any question for participants? Nobody? Perhaps everyone actually got it then.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Michael, any question?
Great one, great illustration, no question.
Okay. So from our audience, no question, right?
No, just comment. So thanks for the presentation.
Okay. So Ben, you can also do your advert on getting the webinar videos and the rest. So we're done.
Okay, so
So
I've posted the right.
Okay.
Fine, we can't hear you again.
Yes. I've posted the link to I've posted the link to the webinar, and also again, this also upcoming trainings that will be taking place in September for next month. So we have a Power BI training coming up, and also have an Excel training coming up on the 3rd to 4th of September next week. Then also I've also introduced a new personalized custom class, which you pick the topic either in Excel or Power BI, which you need maybe further access or further knowledge about, and we custom a class specifically for you. So all you have to do is just call this number and go get started.
Okay.
Thanks.
So if no question, thanks guys.
So thank you everyone. And have a very wonderful week ahead.
Thanks for staying. Thanks for waiting this late.
I'm going to end the session then. Thanks a lot, Temidayo, for the eye-opening session. Thanks everyone for staying to the end. So bye. See you all next week.